Good morning, Year 4. Miss Smith here again today. So just like usual, going to get those brains working. So if you pause the video here and have a little go at working through the answers, please. So if we quickly go through the answers, for the first two I would have done column addition. So 8,065 add 80 equals 8,145. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. 8,100 take away 1,200 equals 6,900. So hopefully you got that one right. The next one, 6 times 3 times 9. You should have done it in two parts. So 6 times 3 is 18 times by 9, which you could have then done as a column, equals 162. Right, the next one, a division, 50 divided by 7. You could have used the pictures and put them into groups of 7 equal groups, which would have meant that there was a remainder of 1. You could have also done the bus stop method. I know some of you have been using that way. Or you could have used the number line like we used to do in year 3 and done the jumps in multiples of 7. Next one, write 2,206 in numerals. So you can see you should have wrote 2206. And a mistake that people always forget is the placeholder, the 0. So make sure you've done that one for me, please. And then how much money in total? So it's just recapping our money and recognising our coins. And you should have wrote £3.94. Then the reasoning question, the boy's asking, is my part whole model correct? So the whole number was 145. So you should have said, yes, he was correct, because 34 add 57 add 54 does equal 145. So yes, he is correct. So today I want you to write the date in your book, which is the 25th of February, but we can write it in number form, so 25.02.21, and then can you write the learning objective, which is to solve comparison, sum and difference problems using information presented in graphs and charts. Pause the video for me. So let's look at our introduction question. So we're going to use this information to help us to answer the following questions. If a full circle represents 20 children, what do you think 3/4 of a circle represents? Then what do you think half of a circle represents? And then what would a quarter? So thinking as a whole is 20 as a full circle, thinking about how to work it out, what would you have to divide it by? So it's going to get your brains working this time. So pause the video now and have a little go for me. So the answers that you should have done, you could have done this in a different order. So if I was doing it, if I knew a full circle represented 20, half of 20 is 10. So once I've got half of a circle, I can then work out what a quarter is by, again, halving 10. So a quarter would be 5. And then to find out the 3/4, it just means 3 lots of 5, which equals 15. So we've done lots of work on different charts and different graphs for the last couple of weeks. So let's have a look at our first question. It says use the table to calculate the number of tickets bought all together. So you can see it's got the cinema listings with all the different films and the number of tickets that were bought for each film. So your first task, can you sort the films in order from the most to the least popular? So remember, the most means the biggest number, the least means the smallest number. Should be pretty straightforward, this one. Pause the video now and have a little go. Right, the first bit, to calculate how many tickets there were altogether, you should have done 60, add 30, add 40, add 70. And using your knowledge of number bonds, I would have done 60 add 40 equals 100, 70 add 30 equals 100, and therefore 100 add 100 is 200. I didn't even have to write anything down for that one. And then sorting the films in order from the most to the least popular, you can see the answer there. The Great Adventure has the most tickets sold. The Attacks of the Robots, True Love, and then Frostbite. Give those a tick if you got those right. Right, this time we've got a bar model and it says complete the sentences below. So during a PE lesson, this shows us the average water intake, so the amount of water children had. So we've got Tom, Jess, Ali and Faye, and along the side we've got the mils, the amount of water they had, and that's going up in 20s. So on average, Tom drinks how much more water than Ali? So you need to read what number do you think comes between 60 and 80? How much water does Tom have? And then see how much water Ali has. And then think about which calculation you would need to do to work that out. And then this one, Jess drinks how much less water than Faye? Let's have a little go at that one for me, please. Right, let's have a look at the answer. Now we know that Tom drank 70 and Ali drank 50. So to find the difference, we would do 70 take away 50, which equals 20. So we know when we're finding the difference, it is the takeaway. Then we needed to see how much less water Jess drank than Faye. So Faye drinks 60 mils of water and Jess drank 40. Remembering the biggest number comes first when subtracting. So 60 take away 40 equals 20. Give those a tick if you got those right, please. Right, this time we've got a pictogram and it says calculate the difference between the number of pears and apples grown. Now if you look at the key, it says each circle equals 10 fruits, okay? So pause the video here, have a little go at that one, and it says which two fruits total 55. So if I was doing this, I would quickly write how much each fruit has to begin with, using one circle equals 10 fruits. Off you go. So the difference between the number of pears and apples. Pears, we know if one full circle equals 10, a half of a circle should equal 5. So the number of pears was 15, and apples, you'd have 10, 20, 25, and 25 take away 15 equals 10. So can you see how we worked out the difference there by doing the takeaway? Then which two fruits total 55? It was just a case of you having a little play and explore until you got the answer. So oranges, you've got 10, 20, 30. Apples, you've got 10, 20, 25. So therefore 30 plus 25 equals 55. So it was oranges and apples. So it's just thinking about reading the information in the charts and the bars throughout this lesson to help you solve the questions. Right, let's have a little look at a reasoning question now. So Kate says, there were 20 more votes for consoles than phones. Is she correct? Convince me. So what I want you to do is look at the information given. So how many laptops were the favourite, how many children liked the console, how many children liked tablet, how many children liked the phone. So then work out, she's saying 20, there were 20 more votes for consoles than phones. Think about which calculation you would need to do to work this out. Pause the video. So you might use this sentence stem to help you. So K is not correct. Think about how you would explain this to me in class. So K is not correct because if we look, 90 children voted for the console, whereas only 80 children voted for the phones. So there were 10 more votes for consoles, not the phones. So 90 take away 80 equals 10, not 20. So hopefully you could use that information to solve that one for me. Right, next reasoning question. So it says circle the odd one out of A, B and C, right? So we're going to use that information in the table. You can see favourite treats, chocolate, sweets, biscuits and crisps. And it's got a number of votes at the side of each one. So you need to work out each of these three questions first, and then you've got to see which is the odd one out. So 250 people voted for their favourite treats. So for this one, I'll give you a little tip. You need to add 80, 60, 30 and 90 all together and see whether does it total to 250. Next one, crisps received the highest number of votes. We'll have a look. Was crisps the highest number, the largest number? And C, 60 people voted for sweets. Have a look at the table. Is that information correct? Pause the video. So you should have circled or thought about that A is the odd one out. Let's see how we can explain this. So A is the odd one out because it's incorrect. Okay, the other two are correct. If we add 80, 60, 30 and 90 together, it doesn't total to 250. It totals to 260. So that one was incorrect. Chris received the highest number of votes. That's true, it did. It received 90 votes. It was the highest in the table. And 60 people voted for sweets. So if we go to sweets, that's correct. 60 people did vote for sweets. So that one was hopefully pretty straightforward. So this time we've got some missing data, and it says there were more donkeys than llamas, but fewer donkeys than goats. Then it says there were 20 more ponies than llamas. Now using the key and the chart below, you can see we've got ponies, llamas, donkeys and goats. Can you fill in that chart to make those two statements true? So quickly, give yourself a quick sketch in your book and see if you can do the pictogram correctly to make those statements true. Pause the video. So this is what you should have drawn. So pause the video and give that a self mark for me, see if you were correct. And today's work. So pandas, what I've given you is a tally chart, okay? Now, you have got some of the information missing. So what I want you to do using a ruler is to draw that tally chart in your book and to fill in the missing information. And then underneath, you are then going to use that information from that tally chart to draw a pictogram, okay? So then I want you to have a little go at drawing that pictogram in your book and putting the right number of smiles for each pupil for me, okay? Not forgetting to do your key as well. Then once you have filled in the tally chart and the pictogram, I want you to have a little go at answering those questions for me, okay? Bronze children, you have got some questions to go through by using the information in that chart. So just like we've done all the way through the video, and a few more questions there. So you can either pause the video and work through that or download the PDF and read it carefully. Silver children, you've got a bar chart there and you've got some questions to work through. So looking carefully again and answering the questions. And gold children, you've got a pictogram and a bar chart and you've got some questions to work through as well. Really looking forward to seeing all your work year 4. Have a great morning. Bye bye.